Hey everyone, let's get started. Yes. So we'll continue from where we left in the last part. So in the last session, we just set up Ansible infra part, right? So we installed our Ansible on our master, and then we had a couple of worker nodes created, and we'll continue from there. Okay. Right. All right. Okay. Two nodes are ready for us, and our master is ready. Now let's connect with our master first. Okay. And in the last part, right, is I showed you we can verify or we can confirm that our master and working, what do you say, worker nodes are communicating with each other using the following command: ansible all. And I also explained you the concept of inventory in the last session, right? You see, these are the two worker nodes that we provisioned for our setup part actually. One is N1 and one is N2. And we want to see if both N1 and N2 are communicating. So for that, like I said, you can use the following command: ansible. Like I said, currently we have web is the only group available in our inventory. You can verify like that. And hyphen M module called P. So if you are getting this success message, means our master is able to communicate with both node 1 and node 2, which are part of our inventory group called web, right? Perfect. You can check like this, or you can simply say all, which will also take every consider available server inside your inventory parts, right? Okay, perfect. So now once you get the connectivity, now you'll start doing the actual work here, guys, meaning you're going to start what do you say, setting up the tasks. Like I said, the main purpose of using Ansible is actually you want to go ahead and start what do you say, managing the servers. So currently we just took 2 servers, but like I said, it can be 2 or 20 or 200. Just like inventory management is something you need to take care. Okay. Now, how do we start doing the work in Ansible? Like I said, we got 2 different approaches. So either you can go ahead and run the ad hoc commands, or you can run the playbook. So currently I'm focusing on the concept called as ad hoc commands. Okay, now let me show you like what are ad hoc commands once. Right. You can see here, guys. It explains in this concept. So basically here an ad hoc command is basically a command line tool. It says that an ad hoc command is a tool. Basically in this part it is available, user bin Ansible. It's a command line tool. Okay. And what this tool basically does is it will automate a single task. Very important. So whenever you want to execute one single task, then you rely on the concept called as ad hoc commands. I think I explained you here. So ad hoc commands, they focus running a single task. It can be your choice. So you want to run it on 1 node, 2 node, 10 nodes, group, your choice. Okay. So you can manage multiple servers, but you can only run one single task. That is what you need to remember when you start working with the ad hoc commands. Okay. So ad hoc commands will help you run a single task on 1 or more nodes, right? Okay. And ad hoc commands are very easy to understand. As you see, ad hoc commands are quick and easy. So you can understand the concept easily. but the problem with them is they are not reusable. Okay, so that's the disadvantage of ad hoc commands. You can't reuse them, right? So that's the reason why, sorry, we'll check the second option called as playbooks in the future, right? And is also saying like why you're learning ad hoc commands first. The reason because these ad hoc commands, right? Yes, exactly. They demonstrate the simplicity of Ansible first, right? It will make you understand the concept easily if you know these ad hoc commands. Once you get comfortable with ad hoc commands, you got an idea how these work, right? Then the same concepts that you learned here will help you port into this playbook language. Like whatever you're learning from ad hoc commands, right? These ad hoc commands, you can take them to understand the playbooks in a much more easier fashion, right? Okay. So this is about ad hoc commands, guys. So basically what I want to just say is when you want to run a single task on one or more nodes, you can rely on ad hoc commands. And why you learn them first reason, because they are very easy to understand. They are very simplicity, what is it, simple in nature. And like I said, once you learn them, applying the same technique with respect to playbooks would be much more easier approach, right? Okay. So how do we run this? Like what needs to be done when you start working with ad hoc commands is, yes, guys, there is a syntax. Yes. So this is the syntax you need to follow, guys. Ansible, pattern, module, and module options. Okay, I'll just copy this. No, sorry, it got disconnected. Okay, now this is the syntax. Okay, I'm just going to not run it. So anyway, it will fail, but let me show you. Now, what it basically indicates is when I'm saying pattern, pattern is nothing but it is a part of your inventory. It's like I said, web, all, it can be any option. So you can say you want to execute the task on node 1, you can say N1. No, you want to execute on node 2, you can say node 2. No, you want to execute on the group called web. No, you want to execute everywhere, all. So like this, pattern can help you to perform the task where you want to, right? So it's basically the pattern which is there as a part of your inventory. Here I say all means obviously both N1 and N2 server will be taken into consideration. Okay. Then what is this -m and module? Okay. So this module, right? This, so it's basically like our, how can I put it? In terms of Jenkins technology, I can say it's like a plugin. So how SSH plugin was helping you to connect to the servers. GitHub plugin gave you the option with the source code management, right? And JUnit gave you the reporting capabilities. Exactly same way in Ansible, everything is built with the concept called as modules. Like these are like plugins only, guys. Even if you check the definition of the module also, right? It is almost similar, right? Okay, just let me cancel this and I'll ping it so that we'll not get disconnected. Now, let me show you what is module. And you see, even it also says the same thing. Modules, they are also referred to as plugins, like task plugins or library plugins, which are nothing but, you see, guys, these are discrete unit of codes. Okay, codes that can be used from command line are in playbook. So basically ad hoc commands you can use are in playbooks also, you can use same concept. So this module, what we just kept there earlier, right? So that module, you can use it from the ad hoc commands point of view or playbooks point of view. And it says Ansible executes these modules on a remote node, meaning N1, N2 are our nodes, right? In those particular nodes, it's going to start running up. And also it says each module supports taking arguments. So there will be some arguments, guys. So those arguments will be in the key value format, which are going to be separated by spaces. And some modules will not take arguments, like our ping module. It didn't take any kind of argument. You see, this is something that we saw in the last part. It does not require any module because it's just a testing module to see whether the connectivity happens or not. And similarly, like I said, you can use the modules inside the playbooks, like code I said, right? You can go with that part, right? So now what these modules end of the day do is they will basically help you execute some specific task, right? Now, where this particular, what do you say, task starts running from is each kind of work you want to achieve, or basically each task that you want to achieve inside Ansible, a module is attached to it. So you can see the modules directly here also, guys. When I open this, right, you can see all the modules documentation is there. Like there are so many modules available in Ansible. There are hundreds and hundreds of them. They just keep on going there. It just keeps on coming up. I think there are around some 2000 odd modules are available inside Ansible completely, right? For different purposes, right? Okay. Now here you can check it from here, or you can also do it from command line also if you want. You have some command for that. Ansible modules command. Ansible doc command. Okay, you got something called like Ansible doc command. You see, guys. Now here you can see list all the available plugins, or like basically the modules. You can say -l or -- list. Okay. Ansible doc -. You can see here, guys, it is showing you all these particular things that what we saw there straight away. So it will show you here also. Now, if you want to get a information about a specific module, right, you can do following. So all you need to do is give the command and the module name. The module name we want to use is, okay, we'll take some simple example to make you understand the concept first. There is a module called as file module. Okay, so what this file module basically does is it lets you know what you say, what are the inputs that you can give for this module and what that module does also. It says that's the file module. It sets attributes for files, symbolic links and directories. Alternatively, you can also remove them. So either you can create or delete the files and directories with the help of this module called file module. Like in our server, if you want to create something, right, like a file or directory, you'll use a command like touch command, make directory command, right? The same thing you can achieve with the help of a module called as file module. And in this, whenever you see this equal to option, that is mandatory. You see access time, it says this parameter indicates the time of the file access, format, attributes. So these are all optional. So when I'm saying dash, it's optional. When you say equal to, it's mandatory. So if I just scroll down a little bit, let's see what is mandatory. It says force, group, if you want to add a group, permissions. So if you want to add the permissions, you got something called like mode, modification time. So like this, you got owner. Now you see, out of all that, there is one equal to which says this one. Type, it says path. So meaning whenever you want to create a file or directory, obviously we need to give the path, right? That's the reason why here it says path is mandatory. So you can check it from here, guys, from the CLI. But if it's sometimes little bit confusing for people who started, relatively new with Ansible. So you can also use the documentation from the browser access. So you can just do the same thing. We said Ansible all modules, right? Instead, you can simply say Ansible module name is file, right? Yes, I'll say file module. It has given you the same thing. You see, manage files and file properties. It's much more user friendly to understand, but you'll see the same thing. It says the same thing. You see, set attributes files for files, symbolic links or directories. And alternatively, you can remove the files and directories. And you see access time format. It shows you the same options. in a much more easier way to understand. You see group, mode, permissions to be set. And here it says required, means that is basically mandatory. So it says you need to give the path to create something. Now what I'll try to do is I'll use this file module to demonstrate how Ansible basically get the work done for us. In here, now I'll show you, like also let me log in into one of the nodes to demonstrate what's happening. So I'll also log in into node 1 and node 2. That's my node 1. And also I'll log in into the node 2. Sorry, this is node 1. This is, let's say, node 2. Right. So we got two machines, right? Node 2, node 1, and we got our master server, right? So now what I want to do is currently on the node 1 and node 2, we can see there is nothing. It's completely empty in here. As of now, we don't have anything over here. Now I'm going to start using my ad hoc command, and then I'll start using those module options. Like I showed you the syntax. Where is the syntax? Yes. Ansible, pattern, module, and options. You see, those are the options which I showed you right now in that Ansible thing. Let me cancel this. I'll say Ansible. So where do you want to do the work? I want to do the work on N1, meaning node 1. Currently, this is my N1. On this, I want to use the module called file module. This file module will take some arguments, parameters. Those arguments you pass it here. Now, what I'm trying to say here is using this file module, I will set the destination first, meaning basically where it should be created. Path equal to, so where you want to create it, I want to create it in my home directory. Slash, I'll say N1. Now, what is this N1? So how does like my Ansible knows that it should be a file or a directory? What is it? Or it is a symbolic link or a hard link, right? You need to specify that. So where do you see this? That is state. If you don't specify anything, by default, it will take file. That's what it basically means. If you want to remove, absent. If there is a file you want to remove it, absent. If there is a directory you want to remove it, absent. I'm going with this option called directory. So what this basically does is now it starts creating a directory. And it says also here, if you don't know it, you can check it here. If you specify directory, the intermediate subdirectories would be created if that does not exist there, right? Okay, so now I'll copy this thing called state. And I said how you need to pass them, space, delimit the space. State equal to, I want to create a directory called N1 actually. And we can see here, guys, currently there is no directory called N1 here. This obviously will not be created anything. Now let's execute this thing. You see, it says N1 got changed, meaning here the directory called N1 is created. How it did, that particular module has the discrete unit of code. So behind the scenes, it uses Python actually. Using that particular, Python, it went and it created the directory for us. It created on N1 reason because I said it to create only on N1. N2, there is nothing affected. Like this, now you can go ahead and do whatever the work you want. And one of the good things about Ansible is, if the things are already updated, Ansible will automatically detect and it will say it to you. I'll rerun the same command once again. You see, it says success, meaning already N1 is up to date. You already have your directory called N1 created there. Same way, now I want to create a directory on my second machine, N2. Maybe I'll change the name so that I can see the differentiation there. Enter. Right, N2 was never worked earlier, so it got changed. Now if I see, you see N2 is there. No, you want some common directory which needs to be running on both N1 and N2. Web. Why? Because in our inventory, web means basically both N1 and N2, correct? Web. Right? I hope you got the point. Or let's say web underscore dir, web directory. Now you see, as we specified web, it indicates both the targets, N2 target, N1 target. Web dir, web dir. This is how the principle of Ansible works. This is what literal Ansible does for you. I just took a small example to make you understand, but this is what Ansible's main purpose is. So it helps you manage your servers in an easier approach. Now you see, any task you want to do, right, there are modules available, and using those particular modules, like how the plugins were there in Jenkins, it's almost similar to that, but we call them here. You can also call them as plugins, but generally the term we use is modules. Now using these modules, you can get any kind of work done. Right? I hope you got the point. Not only this, let's imagine that now these directories are created and you don't want, so maybe due to some specific reason, you want to get rid of these directories now. So instead of logging into each and every machine, imagine there are some 200 servers now. On all these 200 servers, we have been given, a task to remove all these directories. Why? Because this is a deprecated version. We want to get rid of this entire thing. So in that scenario, I don't need to go for all these different places, right? If I simply say what it was saying, absent, right? I'll say absent. You see, now what happened, this directory is actually deleted, both N1 and N2. You see each other? So earlier the directory was there. Now we no longer see that web directory here. It was gone. Only N1 is there. And same case here too. All right. I hope you got the point, guys. Right. So any questions, you can go ahead. So that's the concept of Ansible. That's what basically Ansible does. Now, the thing that we need to do is you'll start doing the workaround on different modules to understand, and we'll see some of the most commonly used modules to set up our infra part, especially those installations and all that part. We'll be seeing one by one here.
So Ravi, if we have to change any particular value or a property from a particular file, right? So does that support also available in the file module itself, or it's a different
It's a
module
different
itself?
module. No, file does
Okay.
not manage the content. If you want to manage the content, there are different modules. Once again, there is something called like copy module.
Okay, understood. File meaning it will just create or delete or those kind of operations, right?
Yes, only the manipulations. That's it. So that's the reason it says only manage the file and its properties. That's it, but not the content inside it.
All right. Okay. Thanks, Ravi.
Can you walk through the command to entirely remove the same thing, Venkat? Like I already said, you need to just check your ad hoc command, check the module, its options, and start performing it. If you have more number of nodes, same thing, Saptami. If you have more number of nodes, go to your inventory and just update them. So I'm not sure, like, what do you say? What do you call, like, you do the grouping, right? So like earlier I showed you. So based upon how you group the things on that basis. So as of now, we just have two things. but you can just go with multiple options. Like I said, app, DB, whatever you have, or let's say simply all, so that all servers can be going with the one go. Module options, like obviously, so this is the first time you saw it, right? So after you use 5-6 modules, we'll get the idea for that, Venkat. So like we just started with that part. I hope you got the concept. Obviously, modules and their options, you'll slowly get into the part as you start working more with the Ansible slowly.
Ravi, irrespective of the OS, Ansible will connect, or it's a dependency?
No, there is no dependency for the task execution and all this part, but for especially Windows machines, you go with a different approach. So worker nodes can be Windows, no problem, but the connectivity is little bit different. You don't use SSH for Windows, right? So further in Windows, you go with a different approach.
Okay.
Yes, Saptami, you can go ahead with that. Yes. So if you don't have any groups, right? If you have individual N1, N2 like that, you can simply say all and it can work. Yes. So simple, you can directly say the same thing. Right now, we deleted that. I'll just do the same thing back once again. I want to create those things back once again. I'll simply say all. It will take everything into consideration there. Only 2 servers are there, so I just took 2, even though if I said all.
Ravi, can I have multiple inventory files for let's say one project?
Inventory file will always be one, but you can group multiple groups. As of now, one group is there, but you can go with multiple groups, and you can have multiple inventories also. But by default, it will take the inventory which I showed you here. There's a default inventory. No, you don't want it. You want to have your custom inventory, right? Then in that scenario, you'll do something like this. I'll say Vim. Let's say this is my project one dot inventory. So you can define your own custom inventory. So this is the place right now, my inventory is there, right? You can pass the same thing, but you need to pass the file parameter value. So now here, we know this is already up to date, right? So this will take the default one actually right now, but nope, you want to give your custom, you will say -I, and the inventory name is project one.
Okay.
Now it will take the things which are there as a part of this project inventory.
Okay, so it will not consider the default inventory in this scenario, right?
Right, yes, it will take this project one as the input now.
Okay, all right. Thanks.
Yeah. Yes, Venkat, but you can't do it with your ad hoc commands. I already explained you right earlier. What's the concept of ad hoc commands means? You use ad hoc commands for what purpose? Single task, not multiple tasks. If you want to use multiple tasks, then we got the concept called playbooks, which we will see in the next coming parts. Right. So remember, ad hoc commands are only for one task. You can't do multiple tasks.
The Ravi, the main reason the Ansible is to manage our servers.
That's it.
This line command only to change the directories only. Ansible power.
Not changing.
Behavior.
You do anything that you did from the command line. That's what I'm trying to say. You want to install, you want to start, you want to remove, you want to change files, you want to copy something.
Okay.
Anything that you did from the CLI, if you don't want to do it on one server, there are hundreds of servers with you. If you want to do that, then you use Ansible. Right here, we can't create 100 servers and share it. Just we took 2 servers to make you understand the concept basically. Right. Okay. Right. Now let me show you more options so that you'll also get what you say better understanding of this. So now what I'll do is okay. And also, so here every time I'm going and logging into these nodes and I'm checking, right? Instead, you got much better options. Also, there is something called like Ansible command module. That's also you see execute general commands. Yes, like your normal commands you'll be executing, right? So those commands directly you can go ahead and you can execute them on your what do you say nodes actually using a module called as command module. Same thing. Now here, so the module name is command module. Like for file module, there is a command module. It will take the arguments. Argument is nothing but the command that you want to go with. So I'll say, list me what is there in my CentOS directory. As you said already, it will look into both node 1 and node 2 server. You see, on node 2 server, there is node 2 and a directory called web directory. And on node 1, there is something called like n1 and web directory. So you don't even need to log in into the nodes also. So you can directly check everything from the master itself. That's the advantage, right? So you don't need to log in to node every time to check the things. Directly using the Ansible itself, you can start checking the things from your master itself. Right now, similarly, like you said, you want to create some file. Like I said, you can go ahead and what do you say, you can touch the files, like you can create empty files. Like I said, this is only for management, right? So file module you can use actually. Here, if you look at the file module, there is an option called touch. You see, this will create the file for you. Now, if I say, I wanted to create a file called file.txt, something like that. File.txt. State is not directory. So we want to say state equal to touch, so that it will create a file for us there. Now let's see, currently we didn't see it. So instead of all, I'll only keep it to n1 so that you'll also get an idea, so that we'll not have any confusion there. So n1 I'll say. You see, it said it got changed. So n1 is updated. Now let's use the command module to verify the things once again. You see, on the node 1, we can see there is a file called file.txt which was created for us. Now in this particular what do you say, file.txt, obviously there will not be any content, right? Why? Because it's an empty file. Slash file.txt, and we'll use cat command to see the content, what's there inside it. Sorry, so here we said all, right? So which is not correct. Only n1 has that file, n2 does not have that file. So that's the reason it says there is no such file or directory. But n1, we can see it's empty, right? Or better, I'll say only n1, so that we don't even get that error. So on n1, we have empty content. There is no content. Now I want to add some content. Like I said, you can't do that with the file module. There is a separate module for that in order to do that, Ansible copy module. So this, we actually use it for copying the entire file content from one file to another file. But here, as we want to update the content, this is the only module you can use right now. I'll show you like how it works. Can we save the output of this command in any file? You can do it, right? So you can just use the log, you just run this thing and you redirect the output to something like my logs, something like that. Then it will automatically take that entire output and it will store it there. Right? Okay. Right. Okay. Now what I'll do is, on this particular part, I'm going to use this module called as copy module. So this copy module, again, it has a few things that we need to check out. And you can see it takes different attributes. You see there is an option called as content. And for this, there is one mandatory thing called destination. I mean, like, where do you want to update the content? Right? So destination we need to give, and some content that you want to add there. Okay. So what I'll do is, so first let me modify this thing. Ansible module is copy module arguments. In this copy module, we need to give the destination. Destination is nothing but this path, file.txt. In that, we want to add some content. Okay, and the content should be something like Ansible. Yes, we want to add something like Ansible over there, right? So earlier we saw in N1 there was nothing, it's empty. Now let's execute this module and check the thing. It says it got changed. Now you go ahead and re-verify the same thing with our previous command module. And there you go. So now your file has been updated with the content called as Ansible. Now you can check here by logging in actually. So now if you just log in back to your server. Oh, sorry, I think this is node 2. This is my node 1. There you go. You got the file.txt which was created. And if we see the content inside this part, we can see it says basically Ansible for us. Right, guys? Now, like I said, so here now the permissions, everything is set, right? And you can control them also using the copy module itself. So instead of file, you can also use copy module to do the operations, or you can use file module also, not a deal here. So now here currently the file is set with the following permissions. Imagine right now, let's say you have some kind of scenario where you need to grant only read access to this file. So no one else should be able to write any content into this particular file. So in that scenario, what you want to make sure there is only read only options set for this, right? So for that part, again, yes, you can check the thing. So I think even the copy module supports it. Let's just check it. Is there anything with modes? You see, yeah, it's mode. In the mode, you can give the options, guys, like 644 777 we give, right? You can give the options. So I'll just do the same thing. So next time onwards, anyone who checks this file, right, they should not be able to write the content. So they should be only able to read the file content there, right? Okay. So now I'll do the same thing. What I'm going to do is using the copy module itself, like instead of content, this time I'll say mode, and this should be 444. So I only want to give read access. Achha, okay, this says source or content is mandatory, then fine. I also say mode equal to 444. Now it says your permission is also modified. Now if you go back and you verify, you see guys. Now the thing is, even if someone accidentally modifies this permissions or changes something, right? Whenever our ad hoc command is run, it will make sure your infrastructure is automatically updated. So if I just go ahead and run this command once again, now it says everything is properly set success. Why? Because everything is good. We have the content ready, and also we have the permissions set. So that's the reason why it says it's already in the state that you want, right? If someone modifies this state, so imagine that someone went and they what do you say, modified the permission. So let's imagine right now they made it like 666. Now this is not the correct permission actually, right? Now, so as the part of your workflow, let's say in the CI/CD in your Jenkins, you wrote this particular command. Why? Because it's a CLI command only, right? So like in the execute shell, like in the Jenkins part, you just ran this particular command with respect to Ansible. You see, it detected that something is not correct. So it was not set to our permission 444. Now it made sure that it set it back to our original setting that we want. All right, I hope you got the point, guys. So basically what I'm just using whatever the normal commands, like we know chmod command or touch command, or let's say vi command or cat command we use to update the file content and all that, right? Now we kind of replicated exactly the same thing from Ansible right now, just from using the Ansible what do you say modules and checking out their documentation, checking what are the what do you say parameters that it support, Using that parameter, we are going and checking out the things little. It's like basically going with the programming. Now, if I check, everything will be succeeded. Why? Because it is up to date. So same like programming is, you will check your documentation, you will see like what if I take an example of Java. So I want to perform some Java operations, like let's say Java string class. I'll just go back to their documentation and I'll check what it does, what are the methods are there, what it returns. We'll just check the same thing and you'll take some example. I'll see like what is the isEmpty method does, and it says it returns true and only if length is 0, right? So it has given, otherwise it would be false. Same way, now you just need to check out different ad hoc commands and their modules and the options and start following the workup. So this is something like programming. So you'll not learn it in one day. As you start working with Ansible in real time with different projects, right, you'll come across different challenges and we'll try to check out these modules and start working with them. Right, yes, I hope now you got the point with respect to Ansible, right? Yes, you can go with any questions if you have. Yes. All right.
Ravi, one question. So can we use that command module in Ansible instead of using these different modules like copy and all?
You can use it, but generally that command module is like what you say, it's just like for quickly checking the things. Actually, that command module, you're going like we want to quickly list something or quickly reboot something, at that point of time you use. So but in real-time approach, right, you will set the state and you'll run it. So instead of command modules, you'll go with specific modules there. So like, yes, you can use command modules, there is no problem, but generally you'd prefer to go with our specific modules actually.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Ravi.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Venkat, need some more info on what is it. There is no difference actually here, Venkat. Like what I'm trying to say is, if it is already up to date, you will get success. If it is not up to date, you will get changed. As simple as that. So the result that you want to achieve is already there, then it's success. The result that you're looking for is not there, then it gets changed. It's just like a status, that's it. You want to check whether the things got updated or not, that you're verifying with the help of your that status part by looking at that. Okay, once. So permissions, like how can I say, it's just like the module here, like I just explained you, right? This like some something like what I said, this module, sorry, this method is doing this work, this method is doing this work, exactly same way. In your Ansible, they have given you the options. So it says mode, and it says the chmod command, right? It is equivalent to that part. So it says if you use chmod command, remember like how it works. So the same particular inputs, right? So that chmod takes permissions in symbolic mode and absolute mode. You're just giving the same thing. So right now I said mode is 444, which is basically read-only permissions. No, you want other permissions, so you need to know that number, like right means 4 plus 2, 6. So that part you need to update and start working with it. Right? Yeah. Is Ansible used for Linux servers only? Yes, mostly with Linux vanilla. Like I don't see Windows servers much in use with respect to Ansible, but you can control Windows servers also, no problem. So for Windows, again, you will see a different option. So like I specified here, you see here itself they will say, so in case you're not using Linux, you're using Windows, then there is something called like Windows win_copy module. So the module name is not copy, Windows_copy module. You'll go to that part and same options, then you'll see destination, right? Then you give the content. Only difference is module name is different. So instead of copy, you'll say win underscore copy. That's the module that we'll be using actually there. Right, yes. So we can give both read and write. Yes, so it's basically read and write means 6 is the permission, right? So you'll simply say 666 here. Then basically both read and write access would also be given. Right. So now if you go and check the permission, so you can see right now it says read and write as well. So that is something that you need to learn from Linux. In your earlier sessions, they might have taught you. So based on that, you need to just apply the permissions there. All right. Okay. So this is simple operation guys, like you are creating files and doing it. So exactly same way, literally you can do any kind of operation. So imagine that you want to download something from internet. So onto your node 1. So let's say currently on your node 1, only we can see there is some file, one directory called n1 and web directory. This time you want to download something from internet. So that was like kind of operation which you did various times, right? Like you downloaded this software, you downloaded some XYZ software. So if you have that link, you will be able to use it, right? You use that wget command and all that. Now the same thing, you can do it from Ansible too. And simple guys, all you need to do is, you don't even need to remember the module names also. You can just say download file using Ansible. You see, there is a module called as get underscore URL. You see, it can help you download the files. Same thing, you just get back at the parameters and see what are all the options it support. It takes destination. So where you want to download the file is important. It is mandatory required. And what else is required? URL is required. URL is mandatory. Now I'll just go with the same thing. So URL and then followed by the destination. So maybe I want to download some file. Let's say download something like that, sample text file. Okay, there are some files over here. Okay, yes. Now I want to download this file. So I'll say copy link address. Okay, that's the link. Now I want to do it using Ansible. So I'll go with the same technique that we learned right now. Ansible. So I want to do it on N1 server. Command module name is what module? Get underscore URL. The module name is get underscore URL. This module takes the arguments called what do you say, destination. I want to download it to my home directory, and then I want to specify the path, which is this URL. So, and it is taking the URL, right? Yes, we just saw here. Destination, and we're passing the URL. Now I'll just do the same thing. URL equals this path. Now let's go ahead and check it. You see, now it says N1 got changed, meaning our file should be downloaded in the following path, destination. You can use the ad hoc command once again. And you see this, a new file called sample3.txt came, or simply you can use ls-l to verify the size so that You can just check it. You see around 3,500 kilobytes, right? So ls-lh. You see around 3.5 kilobytes, which is the same file which we saw when we were downloading from that site, around 3.5 kilobytes. I guess I hope now it gave you an essence like how it is working. So next thing is we will use the same technique to create and do some operations from ad hoc point of view. Like this, you'll use commands and you'll do different operations. Then later, once you get comfortable with this thing, you will convert these things into playbook format. So playbook is the most important thing. Like ad hoc commands are, like I said, just for you to make comfortable. That's it. So that you will find it easier to understand the concept. Then later, all these things we are going to use the playbooks, not these ad hoc commands actually. All right. I hope everyone got what do you say, guys? The understanding of how it works. So this is the concept of Ansible. This is what it does literally. Now the only thing is we are going to use different modules to do the work, so that you will get an idea how you can use Ansible for your tasks when you start working with respect to your regular things that you do from the infra part, like installing, starting the things, changing the configurations. That's what exactly we are going to use Ansible for us. So we'll take some, what do you say, our earlier class scenarios, and we'll apply Ansible from that point of view. All right. Okay. Chala, 5 games. Then I'll stop the session. Next class, we'll start going with what do you say, more Ansible modules to understand, and then later we'll start converting this same ad hoc commands into playbooks also. Then slowly we'll start putting everything inside the Ansible playbooks format. All right, chala. See you guys then.